Hi, I'm Doug from Smith Farms Restorations, and today we're going to be talking about drawbar repair and restoration work on your tractor. As you can see with this drawbar, it is very old, very worn. By the looks of it, this tractor may have been worked hard on a plow. The hole, if you notice, is actually offset, like it's been pulling to the right. What we're going to do today is we're going to fill this in with weld, cut it back out, and make it oval. As we turn this, you'll also notice the thickness variation. Up here's where it's supposed to be. Down here it's how much it's wore. So there's probably about 1/4 of an inch off of here that's wore down. That all needs to be built back up. Along the side area, you can also see it's wore down in through here, so we want to clean that up, put some weld in there, and then we'll grind that back out. Up here on the top side, this isn't too bad up here. Maybe a little bit of weld, but not a whole lot, because you're going to have to regrind it all down. As we turn it over, you can see right in through here where it's been laying and working all of its life. Down on the holding bracket, that'll also have to be filled in, reground down with, welded in, reground it down to get that straightened out. And on the bottom side of this, you can see where the metal is actually extruded outward. That'll have to be cleaned up when we weld this all in. As we look at the other side, it's not near as bad over in this area, as you can see, as it is on the other side, but down through here she's really wore pretty good. On the other end of the drawbar, generally you will not see any problems, and at this notification on this one, I'd say we're pretty good to go. On this end of the drawbar, it's just basically the visual parts down there, we want to get them fixed, straightened out, and correct. So it gives you a nice appearance on your tractor. Over here on this drawbar, you can see where the pins in the hitch would wore. Now them should be welded in. Over here was really bad. So I took the time and I welded this in. We're going to grind that all out of there, make it flat. And on this bottom side, you'll notice here where I lap welded all this, that'll all be ground off to the proper width and proper size. And I don't know if we can see this or not, but I didn't weld down in here where this is all egged out. I wanted you to be able to see the weld buildup in here of how much weld is actually in here. I'm actually going to take a cutter and go in here and cut this out now and smooth it up. Now, if I was putting this on a tractor, I would have went ahead and welded the rest of that hole down in there, but I wanted you folks to see the actual buildup of that weld. On the top side, you can see how much I filled in. I'm going to have to cut that out of there and reshape it. Also, this drawbar was rounded off, so I had to go in and square off these corners. I built them up with weld. We go in, we grind it back out. I used a rough grinder, number 60 grit. I'll come back with a flapper wheel when I'm all finished. Then I'll take a file and properly cut the angle. There's a little taper on here. I'll do that with a file and it'll turn out pretty nice. Don't worry, if you get any pinholes in here, put some body filler in there and that'll give you a nice smooth finish. What I'm going to use today is this is a die grinder, pneumatic, with a carbon bit cutter in here. And we're going to run it in here and we're going to cut that out of there. This is very aggressive, this particular cutter. You really don't have to horse it, put a lot of pressure on it. It'll do the job for you. As you can see, we're going to stop here and take a look at this. I'm starting to get some real good shape into it. Up here, I really don't have much to go. Down in here, she's a little heavy. I want to do this, you have to do one side, flip it over, and do the other. It's very important to do that. That way you get a nice even flow and correct shape in here. And don't be afraid if you get too much weld in there, or if you don't get enough in, you can grind it out or you can re-weld it. The trick to this is done with a wire welder. It's very important. Wire welding is very soft. If you're farming with it, you want to use a stick rod, a hard surface rod, or a 70-18 rod. That way your pin's not going to re-wear this out near as fast as just wire weld. Now when we're done grinding, and we had to put a little bit of putty to fill in some pinholes. As you can see, our hole and our outside shape is nice and square, our hole's nice and round, back to the factory appearance. After you put the putty on, we used a epoxy primer. Then we come back and put our color paint on. But you can see the thickness is brought back up on both sides. I'll turn this around and you can see it's squared off. And that is our restoration tip for drawbar repair. Thank you. For more restoration tips, go to steinertractor.tv.